Alright, today's lesson is 6.8, Determining Slope of Vertical and Horizontal Lines. The content objective is I will discover the slope of special lines. The language objective is I will write an observation about special lines. Now, I'm not actually there today, but you guys are still responsible for taking notes. So remember, whenever you see something that has line paper, you are supposed to write that down. I'm also going to be asking you guys to copy down the slides that have graphs on them. They're going to be very important. Basically, if I'm writing something on it, that's probably something you're going to want to have in your notes. Now, to talk about the objectives, so special lines. So far in class, we've seen two types of lines. We've seen ones that go this way, which we know to be positive, and we've seen ones that go this way, which we know to be negative. Now, the question becomes, well, what if the line goes this way? What if the line goes this way? What if it goes horizontally? What if it goes vertically? Now, these aren't perfect because I'm using the mouse to draw these. This is supposed to be a perfectly straight line. Unfortunately, not going to happen. But, what about these two lines? What are the slopes that you're going to be encountering here? This one has a positive slope. This one has a negative slope. What's going on here? So, the whole point is going to be to figure that out. Now, this is line paper, so you are going to want to copy this down. This was going to be the warm-up we were going to do if I were there. The question is, how do you find the slope of a line on a graph? And this was a sentence that I was going to provide you guys, and I already have it filled in. So you count the vertical change, up and down, and the horizontal change of 2 points. That's how you calculate slope. So for example, let's just say I had these 2 points on the line. For this, to go from here to here, I would count down and then right. So, vertical and horizontal. If it were these two, I would count up, vertical, that's positive, and then to the right, also positive. Now, there are going to be certain points in the presentation or the video where I ask you guys to pause and actually think it for a little bit. You really should do that. If not, it's just going to be me talking for a really long time. So far, I think we're like 2 minutes into the lesson, and there's still a lot more to go. So when I ask you to pause, please do so and try it for yourself. You will learn a lot better that way. Okay, so find the slope of a line. Now, you're going to want to copy this graph and this line onto your paper somewhere, and you do want to draw it exactly as it appears here. In order to find the slope of this line, I have to be able to first identify some points. Now, this is how it's going to work. So, this is our y-axis. This is our x-axis. Wherever this line meets two intersections, one going vertically, one going horizontally, that's going to be a point. So right here it crosses going horizontally, but it's only at one place. Now here it's crossing vertically and horizontally. That right there is a coordinate. Now this not going to work, it's only crossing one line. This also not going to work, only crossing one line. Now here it's crossing vertically and horizontally, so this will be another coordinate. Technically I only need two, but I'm going to just keep going just to draw this in. This is not a point. This is not a point. This one right here is. Now, I'm saying these right here are not points, which is technically not true. These are points, it's just these numbers are kind of difficult to work with. These are going to be decimals and fractions. These are whole numbers. They're going to be easier to work with. If you would like to work with these, you could, but you're going to have a much harder time. Now, if we work with just these here, we'll be able to calculate the slope a lot easier. Now, you guys do have your slope formula, but I'm not going to be asking you to use that. For the purpose of this lesson, I only want you guys to find slope, and the easiest way possible is to count, so we can do that. I'm going to go ahead and use these 2 points, and I'm going to start counting. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. Now I went down, that's a negative slope, so I have a -3, and then from here I go over 1, that's a positive 1 because I'm going to the right. So for this problem, my slope is m is equal to -3 over 1. Now I picked these 2 points. If you had picked this point and this point, well, you still would have gotten the same answer if you simplify. If I go from here all the way down to this one, so this is already 3, I go down 1, 2, 3, that's another negative 3, so together that whole slope right there is actually a negative 6, and then if I go to the right 2 from there, that's 2, so I have a negative 3, sorry, a negative 6 over positive 2. If I simplify that, it really is the same thing. And if I wanted to count backwards, still would have been the same thing. I would just have negative 1 instead of negative 3. But you know, which ones you pick and which direction you go don't really matter. You should still get the same answer when you finish. Now, here's the next one, and I do want you guys to try this out. Be very careful when you identify your coordinates, and you should pause right here and try it out. Well, I'm hoping you guys actually paused. So here's the intersection, here's the intersection, and I believe those are the only ones that I see on here. This line should be a little lower, so there should be another one here, another one there, but these two will be enough for now. For this one, if I go up 1, it's positive 1. Go to the right 2, that's going to be a positive 2. My slope for this line is going to be m is equal to 1/2. Now, the whole point of these two problems here was just to talk about slope again, just to get you guys remembering how this works. You guys already know how to count slope, which is great. You should hopefully already know how to identify some points. And this is positive, you know, going this direction. Going down like this is a negative. But now let's go ahead and jump to the special cases.